Creating and managing users in Copilot is easy. From the top right-hand portion of the screen, click on your username and navigate to Admin Panel. In the Administration panel, you're going to want to select Manage Users. When the Manage User screen loads, you'll have a complete list of all of the personnel that are associated with all of your facilities and all of your companies. To inactivate a user, simply select the user's Edit button and change the user status from active to inactive, and then scroll to the bottom and click on Save. To create a user, simply select Create User. When the form loads, you're going to want to put in the first name, the last name, the person's email address, and then the username. We recommend you use the first initial and the last name. Some large corporations may want to utilize Copilot's single sign-on capabilities. If you are using single sign-on, you would want to put in the single sign-on key. Do note that most of the typical users in Copilot will not be using single sign-on. If this is the case, simply skip over this field. From the user status, you're going to want to select either active or inactive. Select your company. Input the title for the person, and then select from the report groups. If you do select the non-PHI access only button, even though a user may have the report group for live data, all of the reports in the live data section would have no PHI. They would not display. Select the facilities you'd like this user to have access to. And then note if the user would be an administrator in the Copilot system. There are basically two types of administrators in Copilot. The first type is an entity administrator. This is a typical administrator or owner for a single facility who's wanting to create a user and grant them access to create other users in the system. They would not be able to create a user or an administrator for a large chain. Larger chain operators would want to utilize the corporate administrator functionality. This gives the user access to all the facilities or a subset of facilities in the facility chain, and it also gives them the ability to create other administrators, both an entity administrator and a corporate administrator. If you have a standard user and you don't want them to have the ability to create any users, do not make any selections. After you've made your final selection, simply click on Create User. The system will then send an automated email directly to the user with their company name, their username, and their temporary password. After you log into Copilot, you would be required to put in a permanent password. This is how you create and manage users in Copilot.